Hey everyone, it's your very humbled host here. Coming to you following a pretty rough game yesterday on Immaculate Grid. I got just a name wrong. I managed to muff one of the most famous athletes in the game, I think, and went with not Julio Rodriguez. I think I said Julio Cruz or something like that. I was just trying to beat the speed round, and then I also didn't get Rarity. I think I struck out on Gary Matthews. I thought he played right field for the Mariners. He was an outfielder, played right field in his career, I think, just not for the Mariners, which was the very end of his career. So maybe they just had him in kind of pinch hitting roles. Live and learn. I'm gonna start sharing. Let's hope for a better game today. Start sharing the old screen there. And I'm gonna hit, let's see, that would have been the timed round from yesterday. Yep. Because I didn't want to do Julio Rodriguez the injustice of just not getting him. But I'm gonna hit refresh and go, and away we go. All right. Um, man, that's a tough one. Benito Santiago. We'll see who I come up with. Let's see. That's a Jose Guillen. Also Hal Morris. I think that's who I was starting. Ooh, that probably would have been better. Greg Swindell hits these teams. Let's see here. Kevin Brown seems like a safe bet. 5%. George Brett for 6 WAR. Definitely a couple times, least. And then let's go Manny Ramirez. 1999 season, I think, does it. All right. And then Giancarlo Stanton definitely works over here. And then Soler, all-time single season leader there. And then uh, Richie Sexson. I don't know why I went with him. Minute, maybe minute one. Sexton was at point .8. I was his 1999 season before he's traded to the Brewers. I knew he had a 30 homer season before coming to the Brewers. So that's why I went with him. But that probably would have been, I probably should have held on to Sexton. I should just gone with Albert Bell or someone less prominent. What was my rarity score? I mean, Stanton and Brett. Yeah, okay. So it's 107. Got it. All right. Stop. I guess I don't really have to reset, do I? All right, let's get into let's see if we can get a much rarer score than that. I think it's gonna be challenging because I definitely used some rare ones. Let's hit refresh here. All right. So yeah, I went with Jose Guillen. He was at point .6. We got Hal Morris was the other name I thought of. Hal Morris might actually be higher, I'm not sure. Let's see. I went with Greg Swindell down here. Ron Vallone also works. Raleigh Hemsley works. Let's go with him. He's always a few significant digits away. All right, that's a good start. Let's see. A 6 WAR season. Plenty of options. I think Earl Avril is a pretty good pick there. Let's just make sure we get the right one. Point .3, pretty good there. Let's see, 30 home runs. So Hal Trosky is a good option. Al Rosen, he won MVP though. I think Colavito had a 40 homer season. He definitely had 40 homer seasons with Detroit. Of course, we just need a 30 homer season, but I think he did it with Cleveland as well. So far Trosky's in the lead at least in my head. Joe Carter had over 30. I think in the 87 season. I want to say Corey Snyder and Brooke Jacoby. No, maybe not Jacoby. Snyder and I think one other player also had over 30. I wrote about that in my book. I wrote a whole chapter about the 87 Indians and that cursed Sports Illustrated cover. And then I also wrote about in my best of the rest section, I wrote about how stacked the Cleveland offense was in the late 90s, early 2000s, and how they just got like they had so much that they traded away people like Brian Giles, Jeremy Burnett, and Richie Sexton, who I just used. Um, I mean, from those teams, I mean, you have I don't think I'm going to use anyone from those teams because you've got Tomey, Bell, Ramirez, um, all going over 30 home runs. And I mentioned Sexton. Um, Juan Gonzalez 1 year did it. And you get Travis Hafner. Um, and then more recently, you get Jose Ramirez and Francisco Lindor. Both went over 30. Probably some others. I'm gonna stick with Trotsky though. All right, a little bit better than Sexton. All right, so now we're looking for 6 WAR seasons for the Royals. Of course, Saberhagen works. Um, Willie Wilson, I think, will work. He won a batting title in '82. Stole almost 80 bases 1 year, or maybe over 80 bases 1 year. I think those seasons would work. Tartable, uh, I don't think is going to work because he wasn't a good fielder. Um, I wrote about Jay Bell's 1997 season, best years by interlopers. However, I think that was about a 5 WAR season, as I recall. I think I looked at that. So sometimes they adjust the wars upwards, though. I mean, there's a little bit of revisionism involved in that statistic. Um, but no, I don't think I'm going to go with him either. Is there anyone who just, I mean, Bell would have been a great example because he just kind of popped in. Um, Charlie Liebrandt in 1985 had a great year, but I'm just not sure on if you adjust for the offensive environment if that was as high as 6 WAR. Um, I don't know about Frank White. I don't know about Kevin Seitzer in '87. Big year, but a lot of people were having big years, rabbit ball year. Um, Beltron definitely will work. I'm very confident in that. I think Damon might work in the 2000 season. And I haven't listed anyone who's particularly like all these people seem pretty obvious Royals to me. Amos Otis is a name that's coming to mind, and Al Cohen's is a name that's coming to mind. Not like a guarantee, but I've significant amount of confidence in those names. But I think I'm gonna do 30 homer first. Let's go where I'm safe. I think Gaetti might have had a 30 homer season with Kansas City. Um, I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think he did. Um, Jermaine Dye definitely works. Here's the thing about the Royals, though. Their all-time leader in single season home runs was Steve Balboni until 19, or excuse me, I think he did it in 1985, and that was the record until 2018. Mike Mus or 17 maybe. Mike Moustakas broke it because 18 is the year he's traded to the Brewers. Mike Moustakas would actually work for the Reds and Royals. Anyway, Moustakas breaks that record, but then Soler breaks it right afterwards. And obviously Salvador Perez has since, I think, tied Soler, if I'm not mistaken. Um, anyway, I'm not gonna go with any of those folks. Jermaine Dye is, I think, a fairly safe lower pick. I'm not 100% sure on Gaetti. I don't know if Jermaine Dye would be more or less obvious than Balboni, but the fact that Balboni was the team record holder, there's just a deal with Kauffman Stadium, but that's why I'm gonna go with Jermaine Dye for his 2000 season. Mike Sweeney, I think, had 29 home runs that year, so he would be a red herring. Dye takes 3%. All right, that was a long-winded way to get there. All right, and then for the Marlins, 30 homers, you got um Derek Lee will work. Um, Sheffield works. Michael Lowell will work. Miguel Cabrera will work. Hanley Ramirez will work. Dan Uglo will work, I think. Pretty sure on that one. I don't know if Real Muto ever got there. Um, Ozuna had over 30 home runs, I think, in 17. Like that whole outfield, you had Stanton, Yelich, and Ozuna. Stacked outfield, and then they trade them all away that offseason. Classic Marlins. Preston Wilson will work. Preston Wilson might be my guy here. Let's go with Preston Wilson. He had a 30-30 season. 1.0. I'll take it. All right. And then for 6 WAR, so what I used Kevin Brown, who was only at like 5%. Hanley Ramirez will definitely work. 6 WAR though. That's a tricky one. I don't know even if Cabrera works. I mean, he was not a particularly good defensive player, and that was before I mean, that was great offensive seasons, but not gaudy the way that his. I think he might have actually been like for some reason I'm thinking he might have been in the 5.8, 5.9 range, like 06, 07 time frame. Um, like I don't like I'm thinking of the 97 team, and I don't think Alou works. I don't think Bonilla works. Charles Johnson. Um, I kind of think Josh Johnson, maybe, possibly Jose Fernandez. Not sure on Yelich. I don't know if there were really that many options to choose from here. And there's a few red herrings. I'm not sure on Luis Castillo. I don't think Luis Castillo gets there. I don't think Juan Pierre gets there. I don't think Derek Lee gets there. Um, yeah, I don't think there's a ton of people who work. And I think I'm gonna go with Josh Johnson. Like 2010 had a big year. Any other pitchers? Al Leiter, I think, had a really good year in like 96. I think Alex Fernandez was pretty good in 97. Maybe a Carl Pavano or Dontrell Willis definitely works in 2005. That was a great year. Josh Johnson, I'm a little less sure about. Let's go with Dontrell. Let's see how he does. 2005. Oh, that was not good. I should have gone with Josh Johnson, maybe. Let's find out. Let's do it live. Oh, turns out Willis would have worked for Reds and Marlins. This one. Oop. He didn't play very long, so 6.7 followed by a 7. He would have done it twice. I don't know if that would have been better though. All right. And then well, let's try Al Cohen's. For some reason that name is ringing a bell as having a really good year. Oh, didn't get it. Let's try Amasotis. That did work. How far away was I? Now that I've failed, probably just throw Hal Morris in there. Uh, Al Cohen's. His name is like almost the same as mine, so wanted to check him out. Yeah, he's my guy for Gold Gloves. 5'3". Darn. I knew. Yeah, he had a number 2 MVP finish, but he was only 5.3 WAR. 23 home runs, 112. Daryl Porter would have been a good pick too. Oh well. Back-to-back failures. 1.0 on a Hal Morris. Jose Guillen would have been better. All right. Well, bummer. Well, thanks a lot for playing. That's all right. There are worse things happening in the world than me not getting Immaculate Grid. Thanks a lot for playing, and we'll be back at tomorrow. Peace.